I was able to show tonight that Anthony Blinken and Amber Barnes are working together in a sex trafficking ring out of Washington, D.C.'s White House. Okay, that's a problem. It's a Walmart sex trafficking ring with Greg Gordon, who's Mervyn Harper in apartment 201 at the top, and someone named William. We know that. King Charles is involved. We know that. We know Bill Clinton's involved. We know a lot of the names involved. So here's the problem. Let's look at Amber Barnes. Well, a lot of people in this building call me Amber. And so I was first hospitalized at Barnes Hospital. So there's a problem with that. There's a sex trafficking ring, and Barnes Hospital is involved. But Barnes Hospital doesn't have any children, but they are connected to St. Louis Children's Hospital. I volunteered with someone who became my best friend named Dorothy Evans. We played with those terminally ill children. We enjoyed our time with them, and we gave them a quality of time left, what little time they had left. A lot of those children were terminal. We had fun. We played, and we played, and we played. We planted chrysanthemums, and they got to bring the chrysanthemums up to the rooms, and chrysanthemums represent hope. And now it turns out that Barnes Hospital was sex trafficking the children at St. Louis Children's Hospital. So what happened to us? Well, I was poisoned with atropine. And I almost died. I spent 5 months at Barnes Hospital. I was sent back to my sex trafficking family and never allowed a life. I was getting my PhD in environmental toxicology at the time. And what happened to Dorothy Evans? Well, I was pre-med at the time when I was undergraduate, when I first met her. I wanted to be a pediatrician because I love children. And I was brilliant. So it seemed logical if you're brilliant and you love kids to be a pediatrician. So Dorothy Evans was a horticultural therapist. We spent our time planting things like chrysanthemums so the children could bring the chrysanthemums up to their rooms. Chrysanthemums represented hope. We painted plaques. We played with stuffed animals. We threw them around. We swung them around. We played sorry. We all the things. Yeah. We tried to give them some quality of time that was left. And so Dorothy Evans, at one point, she's getting pain in her ribs. And so they say, well, maybe you broke your ribs. So they bind her up. And I say, no, you don't have broken ribs. They unbind her. And then our doctors say, you have broken ribs. They bind her up. And then they say, you don't have broken ribs. So they unbind her. And so eventually they put her in the hospital. Well, staff's lazy. Staff's lazy asses, especially at Barnes Hospital. And so what did they do? They catheterized her. So they wouldn't have to bring her to the bathroom, help her to the bathroom, because she has a broken rib. And so I believe in the IV bag were monoclonal antibodies. They gave her multiple myeloma. Multiple monoclonal antibodies are used for research. It's connected to the medical school that I was getting my PhD at. So I wasn't a PhD student at the time, but because Dorothy died first. And so what happened? Well, she gets an infection from the catheter, which is normal. Okay? Now, her doctors very conveniently out of town. You have to realize this is a research hospital that wants to culture monoclonal antibodies and wants a lot of cells. And so what do? Her friend's sitting next to her. A resident comes in and starts getting a syringe ready to inject into an IV bag. Her friend says, what is that? And the resident says, penicillin. And her friend exploded. Said she's wearing a red band. She has a red bag on her band sticker on her chart. She's anaphylactic allergic to penicillin. And that resident, even though that friend was attacking him and trying to restrain him, he still continued to inject that penicillin. What happened? My friend hemorrhaged in her stomach. According to the oncologist, I talked to him 2 days before she died, 6 months later, died of the stomach hemorrhage caused by the penicillin, the allergic reaction to the penicillin. By pumping blood out of her stomach for 6 months, they got a lot of monoclonal antibodies for research. And what happened to me? Well, after Dorothy Evans died, I stopped eating. I lost all hope. I was going to be a pediatrician. I saw a doctor murder my best friend. I was there by her side every single day for 6 months. I held her hand. I did the best I could. She lost her ability to see, so I held her hand. She could feel my presence is all I could do for her. And I saw that hospital torture my friend to death. And I hate to say it, that Barnes Hospital is sex trafficking those children. Do you really think those terminal children deserve a death like Dorothy Evans got? Is that really how America should treat terminally ill children? Don't you think that you should give them some quality of life for what little life they have left? And how dare that hospital, Barnes Hospital, I was poisoned with atropine. I almost died, bloody hell. And someone in my lab I gave the poison cookie to, and those chocolate chip cookies were from Barnes Hospital. They were poisoned with atropine. Yes, those cookies were from Barnes Hospital. I gave one to Dan's boyfriend, and atropine caused, he believes he could fly, because atropine does that. And he jumped off Chase Park Plaza to his death. And then I continued to eat the chocolate chip cookies, and I did almost die. I think my low weight at the hospital is 82 pounds. I'm 5'8". Excuse me. I remember I couldn't walk. I couldn't understand speech. And I couldn't hear. I was that close to death. Is that really what should happen to two volunteers who love children, who wouldn't ever think of sex trafficking a child to fuck them to death for money? I ask you today, America, to stop sex trafficking. You know the people at the top of the sex trafficking ring. You know it's a Walmart, you know it's Walmart sex trafficking ring. I'm asking you, I am demanding that children have the right to live a life. Healthy children and terminally ill children. And children of all nationalities and all colors and all disabilities have a right to a life that you are denying them. And you are not only denying them a life, you are torturing them to death. And that is so wrong and it is so cruel. And how dare you? I was supposed to die the day I was born. I was kidnapped from a maternity ward in Ireland and brought to America. But I was supposed to die the day I was born. I was fucked by an adult man when I was, the day I was born. That was supposed to kill me, yes. And you want to tell me that's okay, America? You want to tell me that's how you treat a newborn child?